Hey guys, and welcome to my first book haul of 2023. Today I have about 180-ish books to show you. And yeah, I only really do 2 big book hauls a year. One in like the beginning of January and then one usually September, October. This year, I probably won't be getting hardly any books in October. I think I'm done for the year for the most part. Unless there's a couple new releases that are coming out that I might get. But other than that, I think I'm done because I'm running out of room. If you can't tell, behind me my shelves look disgusting. They're not organized or done, or they're just a hot mess. And so I need to figure that out. But finally now have over 1,000 books. So technically I officially have a library. Have I read most of them? No. I'm very far. My TBR is too scary to think about. But I figured today I'd show you my books. I'm going to try to keep the video not super long, but a good portion of these books are comics, so I'm not going to go through all those. So if you're like 180, wow, like 40 or 50 of them are comics. Yeah, so I figured let's get into it. I'll have it split up into genres so you can skip around if you want and see. And I have about a little bit of everything. So I figure I'll start off with middle grade because that's the smallest stack. So starting off, I have the 3rd book in the trilogy of R.L. Stine's Fear Street. This is The Burning. I don't remember the beginning of the first one. I have like 10 of these type of covers of R.L. Stine's Fear Street. I try to get them to match. So I saw this one on Book Outlet for like $1 and I picked it up. And then I decided, I have a bunch of V.E. Schwab books, so I decided just to get the rest of the books that I didn't have. And these are considered middle grade, so I put them in here. And that is book 2 and book 3 of... It's a City of Ghosts, okay? A City of Ghosts. So we have The Bridge of Souls and The Tunnel of Bones. I don't know what one's book 2 and what one's book 3. But yeah, so now I have the whole trilogy. And I thought I'd give this series a try, so I got the first book in The Iron Trials by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. I love Holly Black, and I have read some of Cassandra Clare's stuff. I got Small Spaces off Book Outlet for real cheap. I already have Dead Voices. I haven't read it yet. Is it the same author? Yeah, it's the same author. And then Mary Downing Han I read when I was little, so, and I'm slowly collecting her books, and this was also on Book Outlet, but it's hardcover. I have all paperback, but it's the 13th cat. Yeah, it's, I guess, a spooky cat. I don't know. I just read them. And then this last one's not a middle grade, but it's not going to fit in any other genre. And I had to get this for school. It's called The Data Detective, but I'm throwing it in here because it is a book I own now. So yeah, do I recommend it? No, of course not. It's boring data stuff that I have to being forced to read. But next, I know a lot of people love contemporary and romance, and I'm not really a big fan of those. I mean, I read them, but it's usually really rare. And I actually have like a lot of contemporary and romance this time. So that's what we'll do next. So first up we have Taylor Jenkins Reid's One True Love. And I know a lot of people love this book. And it's basically a woman is in love with this man. I believe they get married. And then years later he gets in a helicopter accident and she's told that he's dead. So she moves on and finds another man. And then like years later he comes back and apparently he was never dead, and she has to figure out like, should she go back to him or should she stay with the guy she's with now, because it wouldn't be fair to either. And I know a lot of people that read this book say that it's hard to choose. It's almost impossible because both guys are so good. It's a really big love triangle. And then next, I have been in this like cat mood because my cat recently passed away and it was really hard for me. So I got a bunch of cat books that I thought would be cute, that would cheer me up, and one of them was A Cat Cafe Christmas. It's a little romance about a woman who owns a cat cafe, and then I believe this other man is a marketing man and he isn't the best with cats, and I thought it'd be kind of like a fun comedy type read, so I figured I'd give it a try. Then I have a more serious one. It's The Time Traveler's Wife. Never seen the movie, but I hear it's amazing, and I've always wanted to... I've seen the trailer for the movie like a long time ago and it looks so interesting, and I wanted to read the book because I feel like this is something I'm gonna really love. And the book is actually a lot chunkier than I thought it was gonna be. It's kind of hefty. Not Your Average Hot Guy by Gwenda Bond. It's about a girl and apparently there's a cult she has to stop, and this guy is like the demon that they like call on or whatever, and then the cult tries to... in the world, and her and this demon boy or the devil, I don't know. He's not supposed to be a good guy, and they're supposed to help stop the cult, and it's a love story. And I know I'm not a big romance fan, but if there's gonna be like some creepy aspects and maybe some humor, that would help me get into it more, so I figured this would be fun to read. And then not so far off the lines, I have Faking It with a Demon, where it's a guy and apparently he needs a girlfriend for his family because they won't leave him alone, so he ends up fake dating this demon girl from hell. And then these next two books are part of a series, and I read the first one and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was like amazing. That was The Kiss Quotient. So I got The Heart Principle and The Bride Test. Which one's the second one? I think this is the second, this is the third. But it's Helen Huang, the author. I even looked up and see if she wrote anything else, and all she's written is this trilogy. And like, I'm waiting for more because I loved The Kiss Quotient, and I know I'm gonna fly through these. I'm obsessed. It's not really a romance, it's kind of the opposite, but it kind of seems down my lane. It's called So Happy For You. Ignore the, I have to take a sticker off, but this, I bought this online. This is an ARC. You're not supposed to be allowed to buy ARCs, and I was told I was buying a regular copy, and I got it off Amazon. And I don't think I got it used. I think I bought it new. I'm not sure. I'm not mad about it though, because this is like my first ARC that I've ever owned. But I wasn't given to me. I bought it, but I'm really excited about it, kinda. So, but anyways, this girl she doesn't want kids. She doesn't want to get married, and she wants to focus on her career. And I'm kind of related to that in somewhat way. That's kind of down my alley. And I know apparently a lot of people don't like her. She's really annoying. And I'm gonna decide for myself if we're similar or if she's just a terrible person. So this next one's kind of really funny. I wanted historical romances, and they're hard to find. Ones that seem like genuine and fun, they're just hard to find. And I found this one, and it's so funny that I just had to grab it because it was like $2 or $3. It was really cheap. It's called It's Getting Scott in Here, and it's a historical, love the cover, right? It's an historical romance about a girl and obviously a Scottish man, and they're socialites. So yeah, it's mass market, which I'm not a fan of, but it was the only form, so I grabbed it. I hate the cover, I really do, but it might be good. We never know. And then something that's not a romance, I don't think this is a romance, I'm not sure. I know this is supposed to be like a really sad book, but I saw Throne of Pages read this, and she loved it. She was crying, and the way she was talking about it just made me want to read it. So that is The Stationery Shop. I honestly I don't remember what this is about, but I know it's supposed to be really heartbreaking. It says it's a powerful love story on the front, so I guess it is a love story, but I don't know that it has a happy ending. But it's so beautiful, this cover. It's so pretty. I love it. And then these next two are cat books. So I got The Traveling Cat Chronicles, but if I could hold it, by Hiro Arikawa, I think that's how you say it. But it's about a man and his cat, and they travel the world, and he goes and he's visiting old friends and family, and he takes his cat with him, and it's their journey together. And it's supposed to be like very, like, it's like a deep book, you know what I'm saying? Like it talks about feelings and stuff. And it's so cute and little. It's got it really cheap off of Book Outlet. So, and then another one I got off Book Outlet. I love Book Outlet. Okay, most of these are from Book Outlet. If it's not Book Outlet, it's Amazon, and that's that. But this book, I wouldn't normally pick this up, but because of the events of my life that's happened so far, I thought I have to read this because this is based off a true story, and it just seemed amazing. It's called The Cat I Never Named, a true story of love, war, and survival. It's about this girl and her family and their survival during the war. It's 1992, and it's in Bosnia. But so it's in the past, but she finds this stray cat, and somewhere in the synopsis it said that the cat had saved the family's life more than once, so they took that cat in as a family member. I don't know how a cat can save your life. Like, I don't know if it's like metaphorical or if like the cat actually maybe like distracted one of the soldiers. I don't know, but I have to read it and find out because that's beautiful, and I probably cry reading this. Yeah, so I grabbed it, and if it's good, I'll let you guys know. I have 8 more romance. I put it under contemporary, but they're historical romances, and I'm not going to describe what they are because everybody already knows, but I want to do like a vlog where I just read all of them at once. So let me grab them. Okay, Light, hello, focus. My lighting in my last couple videos has been like absolute trash. Like I look like I'm in a cave, and I've been trying to figure out my lighting because I have a huge ring light and I have like a tiny smaller little like USB ring light, and they have different sets and I can't figure it out for the life of me, and I'm trying. But I have the entire Bridgerton series, and I'm upset because 6 of them were on Book Outlet for like $2 a piece, and I was missing 2, and they were like random. It was like book 1 and 3, I believe, and so it's like, oh, I have to get them off of Amazon, and I was told that they would all be paperback, and I mean, kind of, but no. The 6 from Book Outlet are all the same size, and then the 2 I got off Amazon are slightly bigger. Like, let me show you. Okay, Book Outlet, Amazon. Do you see the difference? And that looks terrible on my shelf, and I hate it. But I don't know what size this is. It's not mass market. It's too big for mass market, but it's too small for paperback. Anyways, I got all 8 of them. Apparently there's a 9th one out. I saw it as I was looking on Amazon. There's a 9th one. I don't know if it's like another member. There's only 8 children, but it might be it's like short stories, or it might be like a novella. I don't know. But if you love Bridgerton, there's a 9th one out or coming out soon. We got Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. These are in no specific order. So Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, it's In His Kiss. Then we have The Viscount Who Loved Me, which is personally my favorite season so far of Bridgerton. And I'm going to try and read all these before. I'm going to definitely read all these before the seasons. I say that and then fast forward like 6 years from now when they're still on my shelf. But that one. And then we have On the Way to the Wedding, When He Was Wicked. I wonder how if that'll be worse than Anthony and Kate's story. The Duke and I, which is the first one. I know that much. And yes, the cover is the movie cover. Ah, and it's ripped. Do you see the rip? Do you see the rip? You can't see the rip. Just know it's there. I don't care. I really don't. Anyways, then we have An Offer from a Gentleman and To Sir Philip with Love. And my favorite character of all of the Bridgertons is Eloise. She's my favorite character, and I'm really excited to see her love story because Eloise is the like one member of the family that like hates romance, hates love, hates the ball, hates being a fancy lady, you know. She's the complete opposite. So I'm like really excited to see how she falls in love with someone. That is all my contemporary romance. Next we'll move on. My books are just all over the floor. Anyways, we'll move on to fantasy because I know a lot of people have fantasy. Fantasy is one of my faves, and it's honestly my biggest stack of books. So is it? Yeah, it definitely is. So we'll do fantasy next. Charm, it's book 5 in the Crave series. A lot of people hate this. Hello. Anyways, a lot of people hate this series. They say it's lame. I think it's fun. Is the writing the greatest? It's in the middle. It for me. I like references to real life things. Like, some of it's cheesy and cringy, but a lot of the times it's really funny, and I think this series does it well. I've only read the first book, and I own all the rest of them, and I just kind of want to binge them all and just dive in, because I loved the first one. I really did. Although it was kind of predictable, except the very end. I was like, what the heck did I just read? But, so yeah, that one. And then this book has been popular recently lately. I believe, don't quote me, I think it's self-published, but I'm not sure. Either way, it's not like one of the big fantasies that's like overhyped, but I've seen it a lot recently, and honestly when I read the synopsis I was like, this sounds so boring, I would not read this. But people were so pumped about it and kept saying it's so much like ACOTAR, and I love ACOTAR. So I was like, you know what, just buy it and read it, just do it, okay? So that was The Daughter of No Words. This is a trilogy written by Carissa Broadbent, and she has another duology out, completely different fantasy that I saw on Goodreads, that it seems pretty big too. So if I end up liking this, I might read that in the future. But yeah, so this is the first book, and I only bought the first book. I've learned my lesson. Except Bridgerton. Ignore Bridgerton. I've learned my lesson about buying a whole series for the most part, because I'm gonna do an unhaul video soon, and you'll understand why I stopped buying series, because I buy a whole series and they're like huge, like big series, and then I despise the first book, and then I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And so I've learned. So yes, I started this. I'm not very far into it, honestly. I'm on page 18 and I already kind of like it. Like, I just like the vibe so far. So it actually might be really good. And then this next one is a self-published one. It's called Gothicana, but I believe it's actually getting published officially and they're changing the cover, but not yet. Okay, moving on. Like I said, I got V.E. Schwab. This is like her most unpopular books possible. It's called The Dark Vault, but it's the Archive and the Unbound. It's that unfinished book series she never finished, and everybody hates it, but I want to do a reading vlog where I read all of her books because I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and Gallant, and I gave them both 5 stars. I loved both of those books. So I already know she's going to be a great author. So I was like, why don't I just get all of her books? Even the bad ones, you know? And I got this pretty cheap, and yeah. So there's that. Then this one's recently new, and I saw it and I thought it sounded like right down my alley. And this one doesn't have a dust jacket. It's like printed onto the book, and that's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I can't read the font, okay? I can't read the font. It's too fancy for me. Fawcett. Wait, I think it's Fawcett. I think that's how you pronounce it. Heather Fawcett. Anyways, this book, yeah, it's like printed on the it's so cool. I thought it was cool. Yeah, this is about a girl. She like does research on fairies, and I just know it's gonna be fun. I'm excited about it. So then I got Fable, which the only thing I know about this book is the fish pirates. That's it. And the cover is beautiful. Beautiful. Also, if I like this, I might get the other one that matches, so the faces, you know, the faces that go like this, so it's her whole face. Then I decided to grab Julie Kagawa's The Iron King. It's a longer series. There's a lot of books in this series. Fairies. More fairies. That's all you really need to know. This one is the sequel to Bone Crier's Moon. I read Bone Crier's Moon and really liked it. It was slightly confusing, but I had fun, so I had to grab the second one when I saw it really cheap on Book Outlet, and that's Bone Crier's Dawn. And these two, I forgot who was who because it's been a while, but they're so pretty. They're beautiful. So I'm excited. Okay. Then we have this cozy fantasy. It's been everywhere, and that's Legends and Lattes, and that's basically about, you know, that's a good question. Is it fairies? I don't remember. There might be goblins. Give me 1 second. Let me figure this out. I don't know if these are goblins or not. I can't remember. But one of the main characters' names is Viv, which is practically my name. That's, some people call me Viv, but I didn't know that until after I bought it. I was like, huh, cool. So yeah, I know this is just lots of coffee, and it's supposed to be like a cozy fantasy. It's kind of short, and some people love it, some people hate it, and I think I'll like it. So yeah. And then I got Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which is this book 1 or 2? It's the second book to Vicious. I own Vicious, I just haven't read it yet, so there's that. And then this book is the biggest controversy on Book Talk right now, okay? Do not judge me, okay? Don't. I have my reasons. And that is Light Lark, okay? This might be a dystopian. I think it's fantasy because there's magic. Don't quote me. I don't know. But I bought this off Amazon, the original. And when I undid it, look at that. Okay, being rich pays off, okay? Alex Astor. That is some nice detail. Anyways, listen, I know everybody hates this chick, but the back says something, it's a lot like The Hunger Games. I love The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is what got me into reading, okay? I love it. Anything I can get that somewhat reminds me of The Hunger Games, it just I have to. And all these amazing authors are blurbing the book, okay? And if they're doing it for money, that's stupid. I feel like if authors just blurb books for money, eventually their criticism and like their reputation would go down a drain, you know what I mean? Like for instance, Chloe Gong, author of These Violent Delights, Marie Lu, Adam Silvera, and Saba Tahir all blurbed on the back of this book. Those are huge authors, and they all loved it. And this is already getting turned into a movie. I have to know, like I gotta know. All the big people like it, but the public hate it. So, you know, maybe it's just jealousy. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Next, these two books are Persephone and Hades retellings, and I own the first two. I read the trilogy when I was in like middle school, and I really liked it, and so I got the last two. The last one's like it's a trilogy, and then like the fourth book is like a mini novella or something, or like short stories. But The Goddess Legacy and The Goddess Inheritance. And the first book in this series is called The Goddess Test, so if you want to read it, go for it. I don't know. Is there spice? I don't know that there's a lot of spice. I think it's kind of just meh.
but I remember really liking it. So then I got a book that's a little higher fantasy for me, but I wanted to give it a try, and that's The Witcher. If anybody remembers, I just spit everywhere, but they had like these really pretty red covers with these really cool pictures of like monsters and elves and all that fun jazz. And they changed them to like these white covers with a red spine. But like luckily they're all like that, so if I like it and I decide to get the rest, they'll match. But they have that Netflix sticker thing that's like imprinted into the book and doesn't come off, so that sucks. I don't know why you would do that to a book, but yeah. And then I got V. Schwab's Our Dark Duet, which is the sequel to The Savage Song. So there's that. And then another book that everybody loves that I am too stupid to understand, but I'm going to do my best, and that is R.F. Kuang's Babel. So this is the UK edition. This is the I like this one way more than the original. I got this off Amazon. So when I got the UK edition instead of the American, I was really pumped. I started it, and so far it's okay. I'm not confused. But this is a dark academia, but I put it in fantasy because I didn't know where else to put it. And a lot of people say it's like The Secret History. I am like 70 pages into The Secret History, and it is the most boring book I've ever read in my life, and it's so complicated and too prestigious. I hope this isn't like The Secret History. I really don't, because I'll be depressed, okay? But this is a beautiful book. Then I got Violets Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. A prophet and a liar is what the main character is. And there's the prince. And actually I don't think this one has fairies in it, so that's interesting. About like the first fantasy I've gotten that doesn't have fairies. But Kings and Curses, Girls and Gods, these are the makings of tales. So, and then this one's Twin Crowns. This is a beautiful cover, okay? Two princesses, one throne, what could go wrong? I think it's really political, but like in a fun way, you know, kind of like The Cruel Prince. There's a lot of politics in that, and I was obsessed. I loved it. I'm not saying this is like The Cruel Prince, but I'm pretty sure the politic vibe is like that, you know? And then I got the sequel to These Violent Delights, which is Our Violent Ends. And I am still in the middle of These Violent Delights, but I know I like it so far. And it's Romeo and Juliet retelling, so I know it's going to end in a big, just depressing, traumatic end. And books like that, I like them. don't know what that says about me, but I know I'm gonna like it. Alright, then we have this big book, The Shadow of the Gods. I wanted a fantasy that had like nothing. I'm sick of, it's like fantasy is like the second aspect of these books for me. Like, are they YA? I think most of them are. Maybe that's why. But I wanted a fantasy that wasn't just romance. I wanted war and politics and like villains and like good and bad. Like that's what I wanted. And this book I'm pretty sure has it all, so I figured I would read it. Shadow of the Gods. It's pretty chonky. And it's by John Gwynne. So yeah. And then this was my most anticipated book of the year. I'm pumped. So I'm just gonna show you. The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. I haven't read it yet. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I need to read it. But I'm so freaking excited for this book. So excited. I don't think there was anything under the cover. Oh, I lied. There was. There was like a blue fox thing. Yeah. All my other ones are paperback, so I don't have the pretty cover like that. But this is about Jude's younger brother. Yeah. The little one. I forgot his name. But because I haven't read Cruel Prince in like 4 years. 3-4 years. How long has it been? It's been a while. But I loved it. So fun fact. I saw the TikTok where she was like thanking everybody for like hyping up her books again. And she said because of that she's going to write another story in this world. I was so excited. And then she came out with The Book of Night. And I thought that was it. And I bought that. I pre-ordered that. I pre-ordered it. And I was so excited about it, and then I found out nope, that wasn't it. I was really sad. And that book, Book of Night, it has like everything I would want. It's got like Peter Pan vibes, and I love Peter Pan. For some reason, I am so bored reading it. I've been reading it for almost like a year now. Like since it's come out, I've been reading it, and I'm not even halfway through it yet. But yeah, so that's a fun fact. But Stolen Heir, I'm kind of fun. This better be good. If this is not good, I'm gonna cry. And I think this is, as I was told, this is a duology. So there will be a second one coming out probably next year or the year after. And then speaking of well, not duologies, but sequels, this is another one of the books I bought where I bought it before I read the first one because I already know I'm gonna love it, and if I don't, then something's really wrong with me. But it's The Ballad of Never After, and it's the sequel to Once Upon a Broken Heart, and it's the story about Jax, and he was my favorite character in Caraval. So I know I'm gonna love it, and I'm super excited. And the third one comes out this year, and that's one of the ones I'm definitely gonna get when it comes out. So yeah. And I got the black covers because I don't know, because I'm not I'm broke. I can't afford the fancy Barnes & Noble editions. But I like these ones, and they'll match. They'll all match. And I think the spines are cute. So, yeah. We're getting close to the end of, like, regular fantasy, and then I'll explain after. But a self-published book called The Song of the Marked was also recommended in one of the videos I saw that was recommending Daughter of No Words, or No Worlds. I don't remember. It's been too long. I'm not going to explain it. I don't know. But it is chonky, it is fantasy, so yeah. And it's a trilogy, so there's that. And these next two books are huge. I decided I wanted to be super smart, so I bought them. And that is Priory of the Orange Tree, which is probably the biggest book I own, like physical-wise, not page-wise, because I own the stand and that's over 1,000. And this book is like, how many pages is this book? A little over 800. Yeah, a little over 800, but like it is a lot bigger than all my other books. And it's a fantasy about dragons and girls, and the two girls end up getting together in the end, so it's sapphic. Also, I don't think I have a lot of sapphic books now that I think about it. So I'm excited to read it. It will probably take me a really long time because of how big it is. But, oh, and there's a prequel coming out this year. It's either already out or still coming out soon. And if I finish this and like it, I'll get the prequel. So, yeah. And then this next one, a lot of people don't like, but I figured I can be patient and I'll give it a try. And that is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Muro. And the reason that a lot of people don't like this is because they say it's like a prologue and that the whole book is like a prologue. And it gets really boring and it's too much because the next book's gonna be like considered technically the first book. But I'm not even holding it in frame. I figured I'm a patient person, and if it's really good, then it's worth it, you know? I don't think, was there anything under the dust jacket? No. Most of the books I get are just like plain boring, and then every once in a while you'll get one of those really pretty ones and you're like, but yeah, so that's that. And that is technically like the last regular fantasy I have. Now the next genre we'll be going into is Cassandra Clare, which is considered fantasy, but I'm giving her own genre because of so many books. I own a lot of Cassandra Clare books, and I've read the Infernal Devices trilogy. I read that a long time ago. I read City of Bones and like half of City of, what is it, City of Ashes or City of Glass, whatever the second book is. I read half of it and then like got a bit busy because I was like in high school then, and it was a long time ago. But I started collecting them over time. I had a good chunk of them, and I'm like, dude, I should just get the rest, the ones that I'm missing, and then do like a whole video of me reading Cassandra Clare. And that's what I plan to do, and it's gonna take a long time. But so yeah, these are the books I got that I didn't own of Cassandra Clare's, and now I own all of her Shadowhunter books. So, and yes, they're not all hardback, and they're all random editions, and I just didn't care, okay? Because if I wanted to get hardback for every book, it'd be a lot of money and a lot of room that I don't have on my shelves, so I didn't do that. So the first one is The Red Scrolls of Magic. Didn't own it, had to get it. Next is Lost Book of the White, which is book 2 for the Red Scrolls. So that's book 2. And then I got this book, which is like short stories. It's the Shadowhunters and Downworlders. It's like a bunch of short stories, and the back was interesting. So, a cinematic tutorial on why the best friend Simon always loses out to the bad boy Jace. The unexpected benefits of the incest taboo. So I was like, okay, interesting. So I was like, probably should grab it. And then we have the big chonky Tales from a Shadowhunter Academy, which is a bunch of short stories. And then even though I read the trilogy, I still didn't own one of the books, so I had to grab it, and that was Clockwork Princess. And now I have it, and it's like really shiny. And this City of Bones sticker I thought came off, and it doesn't. It's like it's not like printed into the book. You can tell it's like they steamed it onto the book, like with an iron. I swear that's what it looks like. And you can see like the plastic, and it looks terrible. Oh yeah, and the inside has like a whole family tree. The inside of the dust jacket has like the whole family tree, which I guess could be a spoiler to some, but I just didn't care, okay? The Ghost of the Shadow Market, I think it is a short stories. I don't know. But yeah, so I got this one. And then this last one is the trilogy that everybody loves, that I know I'm gonna love because I am a big fan of Will Herondale. And that is the Chain of Gold trilogy. So there's Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, and then as I was buying these books like 2 days ago, I believe, the third one released, so I was like, I probably should grab that, or technically I don't have them all. That's Chain of Thorns. And I just got the regular book, but this says it's the collector's first edition on the cover. And I just grabbed it off Amazon, and it was like the same price of like her other books, so I was confused. But I didn't know what that meant until I saw that there's a reversible dust jacket with, is this the Carstairs boy? I don't know. I can't keep up with them all. But yeah, so that's all my Cassandra Clare books that I needed to get, and that is all the fantasy. Now we can move on to some other stuff. I'll do my dystopians because there's not as many of those. The first one is Nemesis, and that's because I already owned the second and third book because I found them at like a used bookstore for really cheap, and then I just never got Nemesis, so I finally got it. But I bought this used, and I found out that it no joke, I was shooketh. I was like, it's signed by the author, and it's not like digital, it's real because it bled through the back of the page. And I was stoked. I was like, I got a signed book. I need to start buying more used books because I got the Ark, I got this, I got something else. It was like, I was just so excited. I was pumped. So yeah, I got Nemesis, and then I got the book that's been everyone's hyping up about, and that's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. And that is about a girl and a guy, they're best friends, and it's like going throughout their lives from when they were kids in school to like full-grown adults. And I think they fall in love. I'm not 100% sure, but they're both video game designers, and they're trying to make this video game. And everybody says this book is amazing, so I figured I'd give it a try because I love video games. So yeah, but I don't know, what genre does that make this? Does that make it sci-fi? No, I don't think. Like, I don't know what this goes under, so I put it under dystopian because I had no other place. This one, probably not a lot of people would read this, but I definitely want to because, so I read The Maze Runner growing up as a kid, right after, you know, The Hunger Games, Divergent, The Maze Runner, that whole, it's a phase. When people say it's a phase, that phase, you know. But James Dashner came out with The Maze Cutter, which I just randomly found on Amazon the other day, and says it is 73 years after The Maze Runner. So the descendants of the ones who survived on the island at the end of the third book, that's what this is. And they have to go back to the mainland because something's going down. I don't know. And oh, the what are they called? The Cranks? Is that what they're called? Did I remember that right? The Cranks, the zombie-like people, they have evolved, and like now they're like a lot smarter and stuff, and a lot like more dangerous. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So yeah, I got it because I actually like the Maze Runner books, which I know a lot of people don't, but I do, so yeah. And then I got this book, which is called The Last One, and this, I actually know what this one's about. Very rare. But it's about this girl. She gets told that she's like gotten this chance to go on this like TV series, like a reality TV show, where she has to survive out in the wilderness with all these other people, and like whoever's the last one that like, you know, stays to the end, they're the winner. So it has like that Hunger Games vibe. At some point while she's in like this reality TV show world, the real world outside of like wherever they're at, it goes into complete chaos. It's like the apocalypse. She ends up going back out into the real world. She still thinks it's part of the game, that is part of this reality TV show, even though it's like actually the end of the world and people are dying. She thinks it's just part of the game, and she just keeps going. So I thought it would be fun to read, so I grabbed it. And then the last four are all a series, and that is The 100 by Cass Morgan. So it's The 100, Thirst of the Rebellion, and then The Homecoming, Day 21, and the regular The 100, which is the first one. But
I watched the show, but I haven't finished the show yet. And boy, do I love me Bellamy. He is my favorite character. He was annoying at first, but then I realized he's actually kind of smart once he grows up just a tad. I know the books will probably be different than show, but because of the way that the books are called, like Day 21 is book 2, I believe. Like 21 days isn't that long. And then Homecoming and Rebellion, it makes me think that maybe like the first 2 or 3 seasons is like the entire book series, and then like the rest of the seasons are just the show, which would be kind of a bummer because then I would already know what happens. But because I'm like halfway through, I just started season 4 not too long ago. So okay, I have manga, classics, and thrillers, and then I have Harry Potter. Oh, and my comics. You know what? I'll do my comics real quick, get those over with. All of my comics are the same. There is, let me think. There's 58 comics here. I'm not going through all of the 58 comics, but I will explain what they are, okay? So they're all Tomb Raider comics. Alright, I love Tomb Raider. I've played all the games. I own one of the books, like one of the novels that's based off the game. But there's comics, and I learned that there's a bunch of comics from the 90s, and you can't buy them anymore. They're like really rare and hard to find. And I went on eBay and found them. So they weren't cheap. I'm excited, and I have a good chunk of them. I don't have all of them, but there's different series, so I'll just explain. So one on a standalone is called oh my god, Lara Croft and the Frozen Omen, which you can get on Amazon pretty cheap. So I bought this. It's like a short story, so there's that. And then I bought, there's the series from the 90s. It's just called Tomb Raider. There's no specific name. It's by Top Cow. Those are like the people that made it, and they're very old and hard to find. And there are 50 of them for the main series, and then there's a bunch of standalone ones. But I was trying to get like the main series because I don't understand the standalones. I don't get it. And I found the last book, or the last comic, signed by the author, and it was like a first copy edition, which I'm like, dude, that's a win. And the person selling it acted like they didn't know it was signed by the author. They're like, there's this weird mark on the front cover that I don't know. But like, it's signed by the author. The AH, that's the author's signature. So I was like, bruh. So I grabbed it. Yeah. So that's the 50th one. And then the rest, I have 38 of the old 90s ones, and a couple of them were the same book but with a different cover, which was kind of a bummer, but I own most of them. And then the other one is, it's like based off the video games, like the newer ones that were released in 2013. And there's only 18 of those, and I have all 18, so I have like the complete set. And that is just like, they look like this. This is the first one. It's Tomb Raider. And this one actually has a name. It says Survivor's Guild. The old ones don't. They just say Tomb Raider number 1, 2, 3. So, yeah. So I have all 18 of those. So that is my comics. I'm not going through all of them because we'd be here all day if that was the case. But yeah, so I will slowly read those. Now, we'll do manga next. Yeah, technically it's manga and graphic novels, but I only have one graphic novel, so I'll do that one first. And that's called Over My Dead Body by Sweeney Boo. And the art looks cool. It's about a witch. It said that it's a lot like Sabrina, and there's a kitty cat. So I was excited. I love Sabrina. I was really mad when they canceled the TV show. Like Jack, that was like my favorite show of all time. Anyways, the rest are all manga. So this manga is Death Note Volume 1, and it's the black edition because that's the best one, right? So I figured I'd give it a try, see if I like it. I haven't watched the movie or the show, but I've seen the trailers and it looks cool. So I figured I'd read the manga first. Yeah. And when I first got this, the black sprayed edges were rubbing off on my fingers, but I didn't care because it looked cool. And then I got this one. It's called Creepy Cat by Cotton Valent. It's about this girl and her cat, and the cat is like really fat and chonky. Like, look at him. He's adorable. Anyways, this is a manga, which I didn't know. I thought it was like a regular graphic novel. So, and this is just the first one. There's others, but I'm gonna read this, see if I like it first. And then the last one I got is Monster by Naoki Urasawa. I think that's how you say. This one's about a doctor, and him and his boss are always fighting, and he wants to do the right thing, and his boss just wants to make the hospital look good. He like was told, he like went in for a surgery for someone, and then
like right as he's about to perform the surgery, his doctor's like, hey, this person come in and we need you to do this surgery instead because this person's higher up and he's more important. And because that's his boss, he did it, and then the other one died. He struggles with that, and then it happens again where there's a little boy and he's about to perform on the little boy, and then the doctor comes, or the big boss guy comes in, and he's like, the mayor's in, you need to perform surgery on the mayor right now. And he actually decides to ignore the boss and perform surgery on the little boy and saves the little boy's life, and the mayor ends up dying. And the boy ends up becoming like a serial killer and killing a bunch of people. It's gonna be fun. I already started it. I'm probably like 1/4 of the way through, and I'm liking it. It smells weird. I hate when mangas, do you ever have like a manga and it's like, you can tell it's freshly printed and it just smells like solid ink and it like gives you a headache? Not always. It's not always like that for me, but every once in a while, yeah. And this one's like that. But if I like it, I'm gonna get the rest. I think there's like 6 or 8 volumes. I'm not sure. And then the rest of my manga, they're all Junji Ito, because the manga was really new to me. I didn't start reading it until last year, and I started with Junji Ito, and actually this is the first time, these mangas here are the first mangas I've ever read that aren't Junji Ito. I own a bunch of him and I've already read a bunch, but I decided to get all the other ones that I haven't owned, that I don't own, because I'm obsessed with him. I love him. So yeah, so okay, I'm not going to explain any of these, I'm just going through. So we have Frankenstein, which is about Frankenstein. Deserter, which is short stories. Love Sickness, which is also short stories but like more based on romance. Liminal Zone, which is one of his newer ones. Venus in the Blind Spot. Black Paradox, which I've already read. I read it pretty fast, like as soon as I bought it, and I really liked it. Then we have Dissolving Classroom, and then Fragments of Horror, Cat Diary, Yawn and Moo. And this book I've already read. I loved it. It made me laugh and cry, so yeah, it was good. And there's pictures of his real cats in here, like his real life cats. And his drawings look a lot like his pictures, so it was really cute. So yeah, that's all my manga. I'll do my classics next, and I'm not going to go into all of them. I'm just going to show you what they look like. I have one classic is like basic, and then the rest are all my paper mill press classics, which are the ones that are like on Book Outlet. They're fake, they're like faux leather. I like them. Some people don't. I love them, but they released a bunch like last year, and I own a bunch, but I was like, you know what, I might as well just get all of them. So I did. I got them all except Animal Farm. It was out of stock, so I don't own that one, but the rest I do. So I'll show you the ones that I got. So first, the one that's not paper mill press is Bleak House by Charles Dickens, and I don't remember what this is about, but I know I wanted to read it, so I grabbed it. The Three Musketeers, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Scarlet Letter, Call of the Wild, A Christmas Carol, Black Beauty, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Arabian Nights, The Wizard of Oz, The Last of the Mohicans, Moby Dick, which is huge, by the way, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, which I read in high school and hated it, but I'm gonna reread it now that I'm an adult. The Railway Children, Robinson Crusoe, The Swiss Family Robinson, Gulliver's Travels, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, Treasure Island, Around the World in 80 Days, and then The Jungle Book. That is all my classics. So yeah, now I have them all pretty much. There's a lot, and now they're all over my floor. So now we have thrillers, and thrillers I'm excited about. So we'll start with, I decided to get a couple by each author that I haven't read from yet because I wanted to try it out. It doesn't matter where I go. This woman is everywhere. No matter Book Talk, she's just a Book Talk, BookTube, there. And then it doesn't matter, I swear every show I watch her name gets mentioned. And she's all around me, and I haven't read her books yet. And I think it's a sign that I needed to. So I grabbed the 4 that I've heard the most about. And the first one is Mass Market, because I couldn't find it in hardcover. And that is Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. So yeah, this woman, she's everywhere, and I have to read it and know why she's so cool. But yeah, so I got that one. I got the ABC Murders, Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, and those were the 4 Agatha Christie's I got, because like if I don't like her, then I'll just have a bunch, you know. So I just grabbed 4, and we'll just call that. And then another author that I've been seeing a lot of is Riley Sager. So I grabbed 3 of the most popular books that I've been seeing around and decided I'd give them a try, and that one's Home Before Dark, The House Across the Lake, and The Lock Every Door. I don't know if this is a thriller. I don't know if it's a fantasy or a thriller, but I put it with thrillers because it seemed creepy. Everyone's been vibing about it, especially a lot lately, and that is A Dowry of Blood, which is about Dracula's wives. I'm excited to read it because I want to know. Also, this cover, or this edition, has a whole quote on the front cover. It's like engraved, which is pretty cool. But yeah. After I watched Wednesday, because we all know Wednesday went crazy, I got this book. It's called We Have Always Lived in a Castle, because somebody said that it had a lot of Wednesday vibes, you know? And I was like, you know what? I need that, because I patiently waiting for season 2. So yeah, it's deckled edges. I hate deckled edges. But and then this next one is called Tender is the Flesh, which is basically when cannibalism is legalized, and then it's a lot of like social climb, like usually the people that aren't as important are the ones that are getting eaten. So yeah, and it's about a guy who ends up not killing the one girl because I don't know, I don't remember, but and it's him trying to come to terms with if this is right or wrong. And yeah, so I figured I'd give it a try. Then some other popular ones I've seen. I got No Exit by Taylor Adams, and it's about a girl who sees another girl being kidnapped and she's trying to stop it. That's all I know. And I know a lot of people say it's unpredictable. I saw TikTok where there was a bunch of books published. They were talking about plot twists. This one's one of them. Like, you can't guess it, because I get tired of reading books and then knowing how it's going to end. So this one's called Something in the Water. I don't know what it's about. I don't remember. But I know that it's supposed to be not predictable. You're not supposed to be able to guess it. So yeah. And then the other one that's like that is The Push, which I actually know what it's about. It's about a woman, and she is convinced that her child is out to kill her. And he's like gonna be a murderer, and she's like despises it, but she has other children and she likes them, so it's like favoritism, but like she's just like so convinced that her kid's gonna kill her, and it's a psychological thriller. And I was excited, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So, and then the next one I got is, technically I saw the trailer for the show and it looked like it would be more comedic than anything, and that's My Best Friend's Exorcism. And I got the one that looks like it's the 80s cover because I thought it was cool. I think it says it all in the title. So yeah, it's a TV show on Amazon Prime, if you were wondering. And then this next one I got, it's not real well known, but I know a lot of people said it was disgusting, and I was so interested by what people were saying as how to get it. And you know what, they were right, because I started reading it and I haven't gotten that far into it, and it's really messed up. It's called Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know. It looks like this. It's not the cutest cover. And if you were wondering what story was the most disturbing, it was called Guts, and that was like chapter 2. It was disturbing. I don't know how you could think of something like that. So yeah, if you want to be slightly disturbed and question humanity, read that. So yeah, I grabbed 3 books by her, not knowing that they were all the same author. I just thought all 3 of these books sounded good. And then it wasn't until later that I realized it's actually all the same author. So Rock, Paper, Scissors, which I already read and I loved it. It was actually really good, by Alice Feeney. About a husband and a wife, and their marriage is falling apart, and they decide to go on a vacation to see if they can fix things. But then they find out one of them is probably not going home. Someone's out to murder them, and they don't know if it's each other. We don't know who, if it's the wife or the husband or someone else. And it's a psychological thriller. It's good. Then another one I got is Sometimes I Lie, which is about a woman in coma, and she can hear everything around her, but she can't obviously wake up. And I believe her husband cheats on her or something like that, and she can't remember why she's there. So yeah, I started this. I haven't got that far into it yet though. And then the other one I got by her before I realized was Daisy Darker. And this one is about a grandma who's about to turn 80. She goes to a fortune teller, and she finds out that on her 80th birthday she's supposed to die, and she's superstitious, so she believes that. So she decides she's going to invite everyone to this island and read out her will, but she dies on her birthday, and then everyone's on the island, and the tide comes in and they can't leave, and then each family member just starts dying off randomly, and you're trying to figure out who the killer is. Also, this book had me messed up, because when I opened it, I'm gonna read you what I read, okay? There's a tiny little map, and then there's a note from the author's agent, okay? I'm gonna read you this. It says, I received this novel just after Christmas last year. It was wrapped in brown paper, tied with string, and had been hand-delivered to my office in central London. The author of this novel had been dead for some time. And there's more to it, but I was shook.
I'm like, oh my god, Alice Feeney's dead? I literally
Googled it to try to figure out if she died, because I was sad. I was like, bro, I was pumped for her next book. She's not dead. It's apparently part of the story, but it messed with my head for a minute. Yeah, so then I decided after that, there was only 2 other Alice Feeney books that I didn't own, and I decided I already like her, so I just went and grabbed the other 2 that I didn't own. And that was His and Hers, and then I Know Who You Are. And I don't know what any of these are about, but I know I'm gonna like them. This next one is actually translated into English, and that is called I Shall Awaken, and it was originally in Czechoslovakian. But is that the language? Don't question me. Anyways, I don't even remember what this is about. But I know that over there we have like a bunch of, what would you say, like tropes or like just your basic average thrillers where you can kind of guess what's going to happen. And apparently with this one, it's really hard to guess what's going to happen because the jump scares aren't predictable, because it's they're not like us. They don't have the same type of scary vibe as us. So it's actually really scary. So I was excited about it. And then I have Kate Alice Marshall's These Fleeting Shadows, which is about a woman who is told that she needs to babysit this house, I believe. She's told by her grandfather or her dad, one of the 2, that she can have the whole life's inheritance off the will if she can spend, dude, how long is she supposed to stay there? I think it's a year. Yeah, 1 full year. If she can stay in this house for 1 full year without leaving, she gets the entire family's inheritance. And I read, this woman also wrote The Companion, and I actually really like that book. So I grabbed this one too. I couldn't tell you what this is about, but I know everyone says it's super unique and that nothing's ever been written like it before. And that made me want to buy it. So that's called Sign Here by Claudia Lux. Yeah, apparently there's a lot of stuff going down and it's super crazy, but like in a good way. So yeah, I'll let you know if it's good when I read it. And then the other one I got is Hidden Pictures, and apparently there's actually pictures in this book that's like really spooky and makes it like eerie. I don't know why that would be eerie. That's the first page I flipped to. But yeah, so I figured I'd give this book a try too. And then all that's left now is my Harry Potter books. And I know a lot of people don't like Harry Potter, so I left it to the end. So if you don't want to watch, then don't. But I got a bunch of books. Reasoning is I have a Harry Potter wall with shelves, and the walls are kind of bland, and I needed more posters. And the only place I could think of to get Harry Potter posters are from the scrapbooks, which I already own a couple of. So I just went and grabbed the scrapbooks that I didn't have yet. And that one, then we got Diagon Alley, Friends and Foe, Christmas at Hogwarts, and Magical Creatures. So those are the 4 scrapbooks that I got. I have these 2 books that are written by 2 completely different authors, and I guess these authors are like people that decided, they like did like specific research and just like dived into the whole Harry Potter world, and it's from like the movies, the Harry Potter websites, the games, the books, like they just went into it all to get this information. And the first one is Dumbledore, The Life and Lies of Hogwarts Renowned Headmaster, and this one's by Irvin Kateman. I don't know how you say that last name. But yeah, and I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. And then this other one I saw looks a lot like this one, like the same design. So I think maybe it's going to be like a series, but they're each written by a different person. So this one's called Snape, The Definitive Analysis of Hogwarts Mysterious Potions Master. This one's by Lori Kim. So I was excited about it. And then I own the first 2 screenplays for Fantastic Beasts, and I didn't own a third. Watched the movie, it was kind of a disappointment. We're not going to talk about that, okay? But the book's also a disappointment because I haven't read it yet, but it doesn't match the rest of the books. I don't know why they would do that. Fantastic Beasts and Crimes of Grindelwald match. This is just out of thin air. I don't understand. And this is The Secrets of Dumbledore. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, then I got 2 of these off Book Outlet and started reading them and realized that I really liked them, and I found out there were 2 more. And then there's going to be a 5th one coming out later this year that I'm going to get at some point. And these are by this website called MuggleNet, which I did not know about, which I should have, but I didn't. And they have all these facts, and they're approved by JK. So JK approved these, which I know a lot of people don't like. But it means that are authentic information. So Harry Potter's Bestiary, Harry Potter Spellbook, Harry Potter Hogwarts Handbook. And then this one is the Harry Potter Character Compendium. And then the one coming out this year is called like Magical Studies, which I'm assuming is going to be like about the classes. And it's just all this information. And there's information here that I didn't even know. And I've read all the books. So I was like, wow, okay. And I was excited about it. This book is Harry Potter, and I think it's the magic of Mina Lima, which is the people that like created a lot of the art for the movies, and yeah. People should know who Mina Lima is, right? Anyways, there's a lot of cool art in here. And it's just like based off the books and the movies and stuff. Oh my god, what is going on? That's basically what this is about. So yeah, got that. And then I got, this book is chunky. Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, the illustrated edition. It's huge. And this is the biggest book of the entire series. So this is as big as it's gonna get. But yeah, not a lot. I haven't read this yet, but I was surprised about how many, there wasn't as many illustrations as some of the other books, which I know this book has more pages, but you would think that you would put the same amount of effort in. And don't get me wrong, like the art in this book is still beautiful, but there's just not as much as I was assuming there would be, you know. I want to find you a picture so you can see. Oh, here you go. Here's a picture. Can you see it, or is the light glaring? Anyways, yeah. If you know, you know. But now, yeah, I had to get it because I'm slowly collecting the entire book set. There's the library thing where it's like Tales of Beedle the Bard, Fantastic Beasts, and Quidditch Through the Ages. And I owned the first 2 of them illustrated, and I didn't own this one illustrated, so I got it. And that's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the illustrated edition. And this art is different. It's kind of like watercolor type art. That's what it looks like. But yeah, so I got this one. And then this last book was expensive, and it's huge, and that is Harry Potter Page to Screen, The Complete Filmmaking Journey. It is over 500 pages long, completely illustrated. It is beautiful. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Of course I say it's beautiful and I open up to freaking grayback. There's a lot of cool art in here, and apparently there's like interviews from the cast that they're exclusive, and pictures, never before but seen pictures, and I'm just excited to read it. And I do have one more Harry Potter book coming next week. I pre-ordered it. I'm super excited, and that is Hogwarts Legacies, the making of the game. And if you don't know, there's a Harry Potter game coming out next week. I'm super stoked about it. I'm playing it. It's like what I've been looking forward to for like 3 years. And apparently there's a book, which I didn't know, and it shows the art, and I think it looks like a beautiful game. So I got that book. It's pre-ordered. Oh, another book I pre-ordered that I didn't tell you about is The Island by Natasha Preston. I own all of her other books. She wrote like The Cabin and The Cellar. What was another one that was popular? The Lost, The Twin, The Fear, The Lake, all those. Yeah, so she has one coming out in like February, I believe, so I pre-ordered that. But that is all of my books, 181 to be exact. Yeah, I'm done buying books for a while, so if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I can post some more videos soon. But yeah, thanks, bye!